Lovely cup of tea. You can't beat a lovely cup of tea, can you? The English are famous for their tea, let's face it. I'm Welsh, not English, so I love tea. I'm always got a cup of tea in my hand. It's the bane of my mum and dad's life. Every time I see them sometimes on weekends, they ask me how many cups of tea have I had today. Usually about 30, 35. Sometimes I'm totally addicted to it. Anyway, guys, should we dive into today's tutorial? So, you've just seen me drinking a cup of tea, but what about tea for the skin? Yeah, it can work. It can create an invisible shield between your skin and environmental aggressors, pollution, smoke, so on and so forth. It is a wonderful source of polyphenols, particularly catechins. I believe they're called catechins, Catechins. Yeah, so tea basically comes in various different forms. You've got your brown or black tea, which is the sort you just saw me drinking. Did you like my owl mug, by the way? I've got three or four of them. We don't do bone china and cups of tea with our little finger erect. No, we don't do that in Shay Jones, should I say, or my flat. No. Yeah, so they do black tea, which is the tea you've just seen me drinking. There's green tea and there's white tea. So what are the differences between black tea, green tea and white tea? Well, not a lot really, other than the fact that the black tea, I believe, has been rolled or oxidized, hence it gives you the dark black earthy colours. Green tea and white teas, Latin name Camellia sinensis, I'll write it down here for you beautiful people who might be interested. Some of you might not be, fair enough. Yeah, Camellia sinensis is the umbrella term for all teas. It belongs to the camellia plant. You've got your black tea, your white tea and your green teas. Green teas and white teas I lump together over here, black tea over here. White teas and green teas typically have a lot more catechins and polyphenols in them, making them the ideal choice for formulators and big beauty brands. You've got your Origins, A Perfect World, I believe it's called. In fact, I know it is because I used to work for Origins, which belongs to Estee Lauder. It's another Estee Lauder company. They've got loads of companies, loads, including La Mer, Chantecaille. Don't get me started, guys. It's the same with Chanel and Bourjois. Did you know that Chanel owned Bourjois? You might not have Bourjois in America, but we certainly have it here in England. It's like almost like a diffusion brand or a lower budget brand, if you like. And you've also got L'Oreal and Lancome. L'Oreal own Lancome. They own loads of companies. Huge umbrella company. L'Oreal is possibly one of the biggest cosmetics company in the world, I would say. Must check that though before I publish this. He says. Right. So yeah. So your white tea is your possibly the strongest source, or the most richest source, I should say, of polyphenols and catechins. These are going to work to neutralize free radicals. They're the molecules which attack the skin, thus degrading the collagen and elastin and accelerating aging. Free radicals are generated by smoke, pollution, sun, loads and loads of stuff. So I'm not a huge fan of plant extracts, to be honest with you, lovely people. We will be using quite a few plant extracts in our forthcoming tutorials. As I say, I'm not a huge fan, but lots of you are, so it makes it a pertinent subject for us to talk about. So today I'm going to show you how to make not one but two products. So you'll need this. This is a white tea, 40 bags of organic white tea. I picked that up in Tesco's yesterday for £2. I have used that before. However, before it was foil wrap. This time it's come in like I suppose that's biodegradable plastic. You've got 40 bags in there. First of all, we need to make our stock solution, which will be like a concentrated solution of white tea. By the way, guys, the name white tea, it's not because it's white. because it's not white, let's face it. The buds, I believe, of the camellia plant or the tea plant have like a white fur on them, a silvery white fur, and that's why it's referred to as white tea. Green tea, pretty self-explanatory, and black tea, the same. So yeah, so today we're going to make a, a skin toner and a skin serum using white tea. So let's dive in, guys, shall we? Right, guys, here's how to make the white tea stock solution. So we need a clean jug, a box of white tea bags, and there they are, and a box of aspirin. Aspirin will serve as like a preservative. It does have antibacterial properties, so it's a natural ingredient. Well, natural, he says, in inverted commas. So into the clean jug, we're going to put 4 tea bags of white tea. In goes 2. Pop another 2 in, Joseph. That's it. Good boy. 2 are gone in. Right. Put those over there. Now then, it's boiling hot water here, guys. Do please be very, very careful. Do this in the kitchen, not in the lounge like I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. I added about 450 mils of water to the 4 tea bags. That will now steep, and this will make a concentrated solution which we can then use for our serum and our toner. So into this liquid, I'm now going to add 1 dispersible aspirin tablet. As I said, this will act as our preservative. You can see that one fizzing away. Wonderful. Right, that's how to make the white tea stock solution, which will then form a basis for our serum and our skin toner. This is the end result. This is what we've just made. It is a brownish coloured, sort of cloudy liquid. I assume that the cloudiness is because it's chock full of polyphenols and catechins and all those good things which are going to make our skins so much healthier and protected. So here's the serum, guys. By the way, this formulation is ideal for dry skin, oily skin, normal skin, combination skin. The only skin I wouldn't suggest is acneic or acne-prone skin. There's no oil in this formula. However, there is glycerol, which will act as a humectant or a moisturizing ingredient. Yeah, so here's the serum, and that I'll follow with the toner. All right, guys. All right, guys, here's how to make the white tea skin serum. So you'll need your xylitol, clean bowl, jug with 100 mils of our white tea stock solution in. Now into this white tea solution, I'm adding 1 heaped teaspoon of xylitol. The xylitol is there to add moisture to the formulation. This is a pretty moisture-rich formula, so vitamin C goes in. As we know, the xylitol will protect the vitamin C and keep it stable in there. So I'm adding a heaped teaspoon of L-ascorbic acid powder or vitamin C powder. This lot's all going to get stirred together now. Might take a little while to dissolve, but you know, keep stirring and we'll get there in the end. So as you can see, it's a golden orangey kind of liquid, a bit cloudy, but hey ho. Right, this is the thickening stage. So you'll need xanthan gum. I picked that up from Waitrose, glycerol or glycerin, again from Waitrose, and your hyaluronic acid powder. Now that I'm right down to my last grains of that, so I've had to cut the top off the pack and using the last dregs of that one. So into my clean bowl, I'm going to add 2 teaspoonfuls of glycerin. In goes 1. Get it in. In goes the second one. This will add like a new level of moisturization to the serum, and you've got all of those lovely protecting qualities of the white tea, the moisturizing and the protection of the xylitol, and of course the vitamin C in there. This is a sort of a dupe, I suppose, for Origin's Perfect World White Tea Skin Guardian. Now into the glycerol, which I've just added to the bowl, I'm going to pour in all of my remaining hyaluronic acid powder. It's probably about 1/4 teaspoon. It's up to you guys. Now then, this is going to thicken our serum up a dream. This is xanthan gum. Again, this is natural. Comes in a powder. So I have a confession to make, guys. The formula I made was way too thick, so don't use as much as I'm using here. Possibly just a 1/4 teaspoon as opposed to half. A heaped teaspoon like I've used there. Get the lid on that. That's it. Right, put that to one side. Now then, let's blend these ingredients together. This will form like a white paste, which is beautiful. Get all of those grains of powder mixed in with the glycerin. That's it. That's it. Keep mixing. That's it. Good lad. That's it. Don't worry if you miss any areas of hyaluronic acid or xanthan gum. It will all go into the formulation in the end. So now it's time to add our white tea to this paste. There it is. That looks nice, doesn't it? So yeah, that's going to go in there. Thank you, Joseph. Right, pour it all in at once. Get it in. That's it. Golden liquid. It's more of an orangey sort of colour in real life. It looks quite gold. Now they're not blobs of fat on top of the liquid. They're actually bubbles. So now we start the stirring process, and this will thicken up eventually. As I say, my original formulation was quite lumpy, so don't worry though, guys. The lumps will dissolve in the end. And that's the basis for your gorgeous, lovely, protecting white tea skin serum, which is ultra hydrating and protecting. Here's the toner. So in a clean jug, we're going to be using xylitol, a favourite ingredient of mine, N-acetyl D Glucosamine, that's another favourite ingredient of mine, and a relatively new ingredient, Erythritol. That's another sugar substitute. It's not a sugar, so it's fine to put on the skin. It adds another level of moisturizing to the skin. So in my clean jug, I'm going to pour 2 teaspoons of glycerin or glycerol. Glycerin is a humectant. It's also a natural moisturizing factor and a skin identical ingredient. Our skins have glycerin in them, believe it or not, or an equivalent of. And this basically puts a lovely seal on top of the top layers of the skin, thus sealing moisture in. So I'm going to pour into the glycerol the remaining white tea stock solution we made earlier. Give that a quick stir just to make sure that glycerol is dissolved in with the white tea. That's it, lovely. Keep stirring. That's it. This liquid, as I say, is quite cloudy. It's because it's packed full of the catechins and the polyphenols, all those lovely good things which are going to make your skin look amazing. So now I'm going to put in the N-acetyl D Glucosamine. That's a mouthful, isn't it? So in this, I'm going to add about half a tablespoon. That's it. Get that in. Get it in. That's it. That dissolves pretty much straight away. That's a water-soluble ingredient. Then I'm going to add the xylitol. As you all know, my lovely people, I love xylitol. It's such a versatile ingredient. It has collagen boosting, hyaluronic acid synthesizing, moisturizing, anti-aging, protecting, so on and so forth properties. And the erythritol, this is, as I say, is a relatively new discovery of mine. It won't harm the skin. It just, what it does is it adds it bolsters basically the moisture levels of the formulation, thus leaving your skin feeling moist and hydrated. Moist is that word again. Give that all a lovely stir together. That's it. There'll be no lumps in there, and that's your white tea skin toner. So lovely people, that's how to make your white tea skin guardian serum and toner. These are the end results. 100 ml of pale yellow liquid serum and our golden toner. Now, of course, as always, I'm going to put some on. So I'll start with the toning spray. As you know, I prefer spray. So this is going to go straight on my skin as a spray. It's gentle enough to spray straight onto the skin. Just close your eyes and wow, that feels amazing. Feels really hydrating. There's no smell as such. It just smells a little bit herbally, I suppose. And of course, in there you've got your xylitol, and the glycerin, which will combine to add like another level of moisturization to the skin. You've also got your N-acetyl D Glucosamine, which, other than in addition to having the ability to reignite skin's synthesis of hyaluronic acid, it also acts as an exfoliant, so a non-grainy, chemical, although it's not a chemical, a non-grainy, non-manual exfoliant, I should say. So that's basically sloughing off all those dead skin cells, making skin far more receptive for the glycerin and the xylitol, and the erythritol as well, our new ingredient, which I love. Okay, so that's basically absorbed. You can, of course, use cotton pads. I find that they tend to stick to my facial hair, but if you haven't got any facial hair, then by all means use a cotton pad. So this is the serum. As you can see, there are still a few lumps in there. That's because Joseph, being Joseph, used far too much xanthan gum. Maybe use, as I said, 1/4 of a teaspoon or even a half of that. So 1/8 of a teaspoon. Yeah, or it's entirely up to you. Nothing's set in stone. So I'm just shaking this up to try and get rid of the lumps. They will go in the end, probably by, it's now 20 past 10. I'd say by midday, all those lumps would have gone. And you can also dilute the serum as well with just adding a little bit of water, perhaps 10-15 mils of water if you think your serum's a bit too thick, on the thick side, and it will accept the water after a while. It will absorb it into the formula, thus giving it a little bit more slip and a little bit more fluidity. That's a funny word, isn't it? Right, so now then, let's get this beautiful, oh, sugar, that went everywhere. So I'm adding 1, 2, 3 drops to my skin. Each one of those will go in the quadrant, my forehead, my cheeks and my nose, and I don't have a chin at the moment because it's covered in hair. Wow, that feels lovely. Ultra hydrating and protecting. And also what I did with my serum is, while it was still in the bowl, before I added it to the bottle, I added 2 drops of orange essential oil, just to make the experience a little bit more pleasant. That feels gorgeous on my skin. It just feels really hydrating, and that will of course absorb without leaving any tackiness at all. And of course you have your white skin, white tea I should say, which is protecting the skin, feeding it and giving it the nutrients of the polyphenols and the catechins. So that's how to make your white tea duo. Yeah, so don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit your notifications button to all, and if, as always, if you have any friends you think would benefit from making their own skincare and thus saving money, do by all means share this video with them. Wow, my finger feels amazing where I've just put that serum on. Really, really beautiful and smooth and silky. So yeah, that's it guys for today. Lots of love. Take care. Bye.